yeah, man, like X was an anomaly for sure. He's a very bright mind. He was a very like intense person, you know what I mean? But that was good, man. It was like the conversations that I had with him, like always just like penetrated surface level immediately. You know what I mean? Like no bullshit, like no cheat bang bang. It was just like straight into it. And like the first time we spoke was on FaceTime. He messaged me. Well, no, I had messaged him when he was in prison, just showing love because I came across his stuff. I was like, oh shit, because I think I made PTSD, and a few were like, oh, this sounds like X, your X clone, this, that, and that. And I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, DMX, what? You know, so I looked into it. I was like, oh shit. And back then he was hardcore. He was running riot. You know what I'm saying? He was on it. He was on it. You know what I mean? He was about it. I was like, yeah, he scraps like a British boy. You know what I mean? He throws hands like a British you know what I mean? But no, I messaged him, and you know, I showed love, you know, and support. And then like when he was out, like he hit me on Instagram and was like, I think he said bands. And yeah, we exchanged numbers. And the first time we spoke for like like an hour, around about an hour maybe. You know, it wasn't a surface level conversation. It went deep instantly. You know what I mean? And we exchanged like we exchanged a lot of perspective. We exchanged so much insight. You know, like he was explaining like what he's been through. He was a young, very very young man as well. You know what I mean? Like I'm 25. You know what I'm saying? Like he was huge at the time too. So he'd tell me like oh, you know, like your life's gonna change like a lot, and a lot of shit's gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah. I sit back sometimes and I'm thinking, fucking hell, that boy Jar, man, just fucking hell. I'm like, shit. And the thing is, I'm not, like, I wasn't like super, super close to him. Like, a lot of people were, you know what I mean? Like, we spoke like a handful of times, and I went to Miami and I saw him because he lived like down that way in Florida. Went to Florida to see him. And yeah, we hung out twice, I think. But no, he's a smart man. He's crazy. Like he's obviously inspired a generation. You know what I mean? He's inspired a generation. Gone too soon. You know. You just gotta respect it. You know what I mean? Like you can't not look at like the sonnet that is X's life. You know what I mean? And just not be like take something from it or be inspired as a kid or as an older. You know what I mean? And you know, it's not every story. Not every story is clean. You know what I mean? All the good stories are extremely explicit, and they tell huge stories and give infinite lessons. So long live Ja, obviously.